What will taxes look like for all of us in a few years? It's a big question, and it's an important question. Hi, I'm Matt with Carlin Financial Group. For the best retirement information, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell down below and you'll be notified whenever we post new videos. Let me post a hypothetical question to you. What would you do if taxes increased by 10%, 15, 25%, even 50% over the next few years? What would you do today with your IRAs, your old 401ks, or other retirement plans that you have access to? Well, today we know that taxes are lower than they've been in quite a while, right? So that might suggest you might want to pay some taxes now while they are low, instead of waiting until the possibility of taxes increasing by that 10, 15, 25% or more over the coming years. Now, I'm not a fortune teller and I can't see into the future, but what I'd like to do is take you back into the past to show you when some particular events occurred in our history, the impact that those events had on our taxes. So let's go back, take a look at the past, and see if history can teach us a few lessons. Will Rogers said that the difference between death and taxes is that death doesn't get any worse every time Congress meets. You know, before 1913, there was no national income tax in the United States, but in that year, the states ratified the 16th Amendment and established the first income tax. At that point, the highest income tax rate was 7%, the lowest was 1%. But then something occurred in our world that changed all of that, and that was World War I. In order to finance our participation in World War I, Congress passed the 1916 Revenue Act and the War Revenue Act of 1917. The highest income tax rate jumped from 15% in 1916 to 67% in 1917 and to 77% in 1918. Bottom line is war is expensive. After the war, federal income tax rates took on the steam of the roaring 20s. Things were going well, so tax rates dropped to 25%, and they stayed that way from 1925 until 1931. But then, most of you know that in 1932, something else happened, and that something else was the Great Depression. You might think that Congress would want to give you a break during a depression and maybe cut taxes back some, but no. In 1932, they raised taxes from 25% to 63% on the top earners. And then after the Great Depression, World War II came along. As we talked about earlier, war is expensive. And in 1944, the top rate peaked at 94%. That's a high tax rate, right? It's a very high tax rate. And guess what? It didn't change much over the following decades. Over the next 3 decades, the top federal income tax remained high, never dipping below 70%. If you have questions, further questions on how taxes can impact your retirement, leave us a comment and we'll try to address it in future videos. What does all that mean to you? History is important because it shows us that tax laws are always changing. They have to change because things change in our world, and you should pay close attention to those things that are changing. For example, a change in income tax rates influences your investment portfolio, the value of your home. If we take a look at historical marginal tax rates in this chart, you can see that very high tax rates were maintained for a very long period of time. Now, some of you out there might be thinking, well, that's not ever going to happen again. Well, I hope not. And like I said, I can't see into the future. But there are other things occurring in our world today that give me cause for concern. Concerns me for my financial future. Concerns me for my clients' financial future. I hope it concerns all of you out there for your financial futures. So what else has been happening in our world over these last 20 years that gives me cause for concern? Well, that's our national debt, or what you might call public debt. Because in reality, who will pay for that debt? It's going to be me, and it's going to be you. And the government is going to have to find some way to draw funds from us to pay for that debt. If we take a look at this chart, you can see that America's debt has been growing steadily. And in 2020, April of 2020, the national debt exceeded the gross domestic product of the United States by almost 18%. In other words, we're spending a lot more than we're bringing in. Now, it became necessary, right, because of COVID-19. COVID-19 is still going on. Our new administration is going to be increasing our debt again. And I'm not saying it's not necessary. It is necessary. We are in a situation very similar to what we might have been in World War II. We're having to spend a lot of money to keep America going. What does that mean for all of us? Like I said, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't see into the future. But it seems to me that the response that is going to happen for us to pay this debt is to raise taxes. And I'm concerned, like I said, that taxes may increase a lot over the next few years. So I think it's important for you to look at your portfolios, look at your financial situation. If you'd like to talk to us about how taxes can affect your retirement, click the link down below and apply to become a client. And remember to subscribe to our channel. And if you like this video, share it with friends and family. And remember, live today, but plan for tomorrow.